Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive into something that I think pretty much everyone can relate to these days.
Yeah.
Stress relief.
Oh, yeah. Big one.
So, I feel like this is something that we're constantly being bombarded with, like
Right.
tips and techniques and how to, de-stress.
Yeah. There's a lot out there.
There's a ton out there.
Yeah.
So we've kind of pulled together some interesting tips and techniques, and we're going to kind of like see what
Put them to the test.
what really works. What's the science behind some of this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And I think what's fascinating about this is we're looking at a bunch of different techniques, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of approach stress reduction from all these different angles. So we're going to be looking at things that affect you physiologically, like deep breathing, psychologically, like screen time limits, how that can impact your stress, and even environmentally, like how your surroundings, things like decluttering can really play a role.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that one, actually.
So decluttering.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fascinating how all of these different aspects of our lives can kind of contribute to our overall stress level.
Right. So I guess we can jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with something that seems almost deceptively simple.
Okay.
Deep breathing. And
Specifically,
just breathe.
yeah. Well, there's a technique called the 4-7-8 method.
Okay.
Have I heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard
Okay,
of it.
so it's where you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 7, and then you exhale for a count of 8.
Right.
Is it really that powerful? Can something that simple?
It's pretty amazing, actually.
Right.
I mean, it sounds so basic, right? But the thing is, when you do this, you're not just taking a deep breath. You're actually engaging your diaphragm.
Okay.
And you're stimulating this nerve called the vagus nerve.
Which is like a direct line to your parasympathetic nervous system.
Interesting.
So what that does is it basically tells your brain to chill out.
Right.
It slows down your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and it really starts to dial back those stress hormones.
So it's not just about getting more oxygen, or
Yeah.
it's about sending a specific signal.
Yeah, you're sending a signal to your body that it's time to relax.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, I guess, that there's research that shows that deep breathing can help with anxiety. It can even lead to getting a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
Right.
Your breath, your nervous system, your sleep, your mood, it all kind of works together.
Right. It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
So if deep breathing is all about calming the nervous system, walking seems to be, more about getting those endorphins going.
Yeah, but it's actually more than that too.
Right.
I mean, even gentle movement, like a 10-minute walk, can make a huge difference.
Really?
Yeah, because what it does is it kind of gets you out of your head and into your body. Think about it. When you're stressed, you're usually up here, right? Stuck in thought loops.
Yeah.
But when you're walking, you're focusing on your body, your surroundings. You're just kind of putting one foot in front of the other.
It's like a moving meditation almost.
It is. It totally is.
And I know for me, when I'm feeling stressed, like just getting outside, even for a short walk, it really helps to kind of shift my perspective.
It's amazing how powerful a change of scenery can be, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of scenery, let's talk about the benefits of spending time in nature.
Okay, so I know that being in nature just feels good.
Yeah.
But is there an actual scientific reason for that?
Oh, absolutely. There's tons of research on this. Studies have shown that being in nature, or even just looking at pictures of nature, can actually trigger a relaxation response in your brain. So it lowers cortisol, which is like our main stress hormone, right?
Yeah.
And it helps regulate our nervous system.
So it's like a physiological response to being in nature.
Exactly. It's not just in your head.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And there's even this Japanese practice in forest bathing.
Forest bathing.
Yeah, where you basically immerse yourself in the sights, the sounds, the smells of a forest. And they've actually done studies on this, and it's been shown to have all sorts of benefits, like reduced blood pressure, improved mood, even boosted immune function.
Wow, that's incredible. And it makes you wonder, could even having a house plant in your apartment, make a difference?
That's a good question.
If being out in the forest is so beneficial, can we get some of those same effects from, just having a little bit of greenery in our homes?
I think there's definitely something to be said for that. I mean, even just having that visual reminder of nature can be calming.
Yeah.
And plants also help to purify the air, which can definitely improve your mood and your well-being.
Okay. Well, speaking of things that make your home more peaceful, let's talk about calming teas.
All right.
I'm a big tea drinker, so I'm curious about chamomile.
Yeah.
Like, what makes it so special when it comes to stress?
Well, chamomile has been used for centuries to help people relax and sleep, and for good reason. It contains this antioxidant called apigenin, which has a calming effect on the brain. And they think that it might actually interact with the GABA receptors, which are involved in regulating anxiety.
So there's an actual chemical compound that's promoting relaxation.
Yeah, it's not just a placebo effect.
Wow, that's fascinating. But sometimes even a calming cup of tea just isn't enough.
Yeah.
And that's when, turning to friends or loved ones can be so important.
Absolutely.
And I think we all know that having social support is good for us.
Yeah.
But why is it so crucial when we're stressed?
Well, when you're stressed, it's easy to kind of get stuck in your own head, right? You start overthinking things, you feel isolated, but when you share your worries and fears with someone who cares about you, it can be incredibly therapeutic. Mm-hmm. It helps you put things in perspective, it reduces those feelings of isolation, and it reminds you that you're not alone in your struggles.
Yeah, it's about having that safe space to kind of process your emotions.
Exactly.
Knowing that someone's there to listen and support you. And sometimes even just voicing your stress out loud, it just makes it feel less overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like you're sharing the burden.
Right. Speaking of things that can lift a burden, let's talk about the power of music.
Okay.
I know that music can absolutely change my mood, but how does it actually help to reduce stress?
Well, certain sounds, like nature sounds, ambient music, or even binaural beats, can actually slow down your brainwave activity.
Really?
Yeah, they kind of induce this state of relaxation, and that can lower your heart rate, your blood pressure, which helps to ease anxiety and stress.
Wow. So it's not just about listening to your favorite song and feeling happy. It's about actual physiological changes happening in your brain.
Exactly. Our brains are wired to respond to sound in really powerful ways, and there's even this whole field called music therapy.
Oh, right.
That uses sound and music for therapeutic purposes.
Interesting. So speaking of our environment and how it affects us, let's talk about our physical spaces and this idea that clutter can contribute to stress. Some people might think that's a stretch, but is there any truth to it?
I think there's a real connection between clutter and cognitive overload.
Okay.
When you're surrounded by a lot of stuff, your brain is constantly processing all that visual stimuli, right?
Yeah.
And that can lead to feeling overwhelmed and stressed. A tidy space, on the other hand, it can promote feelings of calm and control.
So it's almost like decluttering your mind by decluttering your space.
Exactly. It's kind of like an external reflection of your internal state.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And maybe even influencing it.
Yeah, it's definitely a two-way street.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground here, and it seems like there's so many different paths to stress reduction.
Yeah, there really are.
And I guess what's important is finding what works best for you.
Absolutely. Not every technique is going to resonate with every person.
Right.
The key is to experiment, right? See which of these techniques really works for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it is deep breathing. Maybe it's creating a more peaceful environment in your home.
Right.
Maybe it's getting out into nature more. You just got to try different things and see what sticks.
Yeah. And I think the best approach is to be proactive about it, right? Think about your daily routine. Where are your biggest stress points?
Right.
And which of these techniques could you actually integrate into your day to create more moments of calm?
Exactly. Even small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just taking a few deep breaths before a big meeting, or going for a quick walk during your lunch break.
Right. Those little moments can really add up.
Absolutely. And I think the main takeaway here is that stress it's a normal part of life.
It is.
But doesn't have to control you.
Right.
And we hope that this deep dive has given you some tools to manage stress and create a more peaceful life for yourself.
Absolutely. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and find what works best for you.
Yes. Keep taking care of yourselves. Until next time.
See ya.